Hello, really quick. Epilepsy warning. Game gives an epilepsy warning. Just making sure you know. Alright, on to the video. Hello, welcome back to Who's Lila. So I know what I'm gonna do today. I realized that the address we explored last time, the 200 Grand Beaver Avenue, that was not Tanya's house. That was the address for the Sunshine Cafe, because I went back to Tanya's Twitter page and I looked at it. That has to be what she was talking about. That's the Sunshine Cafe. So we can actually go to Tanya's house today. And I'm not sure what we're going to find there. Maybe we'll get another flashback. I can see that happening. I'll take it just in case, Damon, but I don't think I'm going to need it. The diary table. Look at the diary table. Yeah, the table with the diary on it. I just wanted to make sure that I understood what he was saying exactly, because there was a chance that I was like misinterpreting his words. Alright, let's see here. Tanya's house. It should be saved here, right? Yes. 2524 Clearmount Avenue. It is, I think, a flashback. But this is so wrong, isn't it? I guess so, yeah. Do you love me, Will? Yeah. Yeah, I think I do. What's wrong? I'm sorry, it just felt weird to say that. For some reason. I mean, I get it. If I were you, I wouldn't trust myself either. No, no, no. It's not about that. You just remind me of someone I knew. Is that so? Honestly, I feel a bit offended. Does she remind you of Lila? But after what I did to Mike, I don't really deserve anything better, do I? But aren't you Lila? Wait, huh? What was that you said? Aren't you Lila? What? If it's a joke, I don't get it. Who's Lila? Some girl you like? No, it's... I don't remember who that is. I don't remember. I don't remember. Will? Will, are you alright? Will? Yeah. Yeah, I'm alright. My face just doing its shenanigans again, I guess. Don't worry, dear. Wait, I have to make a conscious decision. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Wait a minute. Not now. There's something happening. What the hell's going on, Will? That's... Hold on. Tell her to be quiet. Will's not here anymore. Please, be quiet. Everything's alright. What's gotten into you? If this is a prank, don't even bother calling me after that. What the fuck is this in your arms? I don't understand, William. This is too much. It's... You don't look like him at all. Will, what's happened to you? See, Will? This is what you get for trying to get rid of me. Watch carefully. You can begin. Sure. There's no need to scream, Tanya. Oh. Don't scream. Okay, what? Okay. There were 3 people in the kitchen. One was like a ghost. One was Tanya. Wait, no. One was like a ghost. One looked like Tanya. And the other person was Will, but it was actually the stranger. Who looks like Will, but isn't Will, maybe? And then Will walks in. Was that right before Tanya died? Maybe the thing is, like, maybe Tanya just looks like Lila, and Will was already, um, like, in connection with Lila. Maybe that's what it's about, possibly. Detective Yu. Alright, what do we got? The lovers. Poor William. He deserved it, Yu. After all, killing that bitch was his idea. I don't believe you. Why not, detective? Will thought she was me. I guess he hated me that much. Okay, hold on. He thought I came back for him. I only helped him finish what he started. Will is not a killer. We seem to have exhausted the cards to talk about. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. What? Huh? A wheel. Interesting. Okay, well, I explored that. I'm not really sure what to do now. I'm gonna wake up. Let's see. What does this say again? Damon says the calamity happened on 13.11. What does that mean? How would that help me with anything? Okay, I'm gonna practice my faces. And then... sad. Angry. Surprise. The one hiding in boilers, I'll be afraid. Scared. I'm so scared. Crazy. Okay. And now, I'm going to get the phone call from, the person at the train station, I forget his name. And then also the phone call from Will. But now that I have the wheel, I'm thinking maybe that'll be different. Hey man, why aren't you answering the phone that they gave you? Anyway, have you heard? Father Lawrence is dead. Meet me at the train station. Oh no? So I am getting a call.
Please, I beg you, let me back in.
A piece of strange machinery. Yep. Interesting. What can I use the wheel for? Why do I have this? I know, Damon, I know. Hold on. Maybe I should go back to the apartments. I remember there was a phone there. There was a phone at the apartment, I think, and I never figured out what that's for, so maybe I should go look at that again. I go to Cortlandt Street, apartment 33. Martha's house. I went to Martha's house and I got that ending already. Maybe if I go there before I talk to her at school, something different will happen. Hi. Yes, I do. No, don't be sad. Just be normal. Be normal. I want to... I smiled. This sounded genuine. Okay, cool. I live on the 3rd floor, apartment 303. Alright, got you. It's strange, though. I don't think I remember seeing you before. Wait, let me check the list I have. Immediately. Nope. Old lady. Over. Oh well, I have to go look at this. Please proceed to your room, sir. Okay. Okay, I guess I just had to smile. That's all it took. Go this way. This is the weird, funny room with the police tape. I used to call this place my second home. What happened here? Now it smells like dust and ashes. Well, that's because it burned down, Lila. You speaking as Lila or as William? I'm not sure. Okay, Damon has something to say about the phone, apparently. Okay, let's go. 6, 4, 4. Okay. 3-digit phone number, that's nice. Who is it? I must have dreamed it. Father Lawrence? Is that you? Lawrence. Lawrence. This is what they called the last vessel, wasn't it? William. Is that you, William? Yes, it's me. Father Lawrence, where are you? What happened? I thought you died in that fire. Where are you? I'm at a strange, strange place, my dear William. But we deserve this. I should never have tricked you all. My egoism has led to their death and to your consequent suffering. A turn of the wheel. What do you mean, Father Lawrence? She mustn't continue what I started. I thought the Empress was the one to, cease her, but Lila seems to be way too clever to fall victim to such tricks. There's another way. Rybkin. I'm writing that down. I don't know what that means. This was the name of your colleague, right? Yes, I was too foolish and power-hungry, I suppose, but now it's all vain. You are the only one I wouldn't want to suffer from it, so here is the code you seek. It's from the desktop computer I used. You will find all the information there. 781. Alright. Okay. Oh wait, maybe I'm in the past right now. Maybe... Okay, maybe if you decide to go to the apartments, you go to the apartments right after the place burned down, and this happened before we met Tanya. This happened before Will met Tanya or anything. And maybe this is... Maybe we're about to see what Will did to try to get rid of Lila. The pin is 781. Alright. We've got... This document is locked. This document contains a single URL. Words of rybkincard.co. The link is now in your clipboard. Okay, what... I want to unlock the document, though. 1311. No, 1311. Okay, I guess... maybe I'll go to the website, and maybe it'll give me the password to this document. That's the only thing I can think of. Hold on, let me go there. Okay, here we are. Words of Rybkin. I notice immediately this phone number is the same phone number that was in Tanya's phone. This is someone named Ulitsa Lenina. Okay. is trying to reach out to Tanya, I guess. Okay. Here are the words of Professor F.I. Ryibkin. I am Professor Rybkin, and I am here to rel you the truth. The science is lying to you. Already I'm noticing spelling errors, and I'm wondering, okay, is this a code? This might be a code. I'll come back and analyze it in a second, if I feel like I need to. Imagine if humans, rather than being the generators of consciousness, were in a sort of a parasitic relationship with it. What if the consciousness was an underlying inseparable factor of reality existing outside of and unconditioned be human brains? From human brains. Okay. We know animals don't possess consciousness. How did humans come about it, and why does Professor Rybkin find the word possess to be inaccurate in this context? The existence of the hard problem of consciousness. Look here, wikipedia.org. Okay, I guess I'll look at this. What could this mean? Hard problem of consciousness. In the philosophy of mind, the hard problem of consciousness is to explain why and how humans have qualia, phenomenal consciousness, or subjective experience. Okay. Why and how humans and all their organisms have these. Among other things, suggests that consciousness in fact cannot be understood through traditional scientific means. A correlation between electric impulses and conscious phenomena is evident, yet how can we even begin to categorize the raw feelings? Look here. Okay, let me look at qualia. What's qualia? Go to this. Philosophy of mind are defined as instances of subjective experience. Okay, I know what that means. Qualia obviously cannot exist outside the context of a singular mind. Okay. That is different from any physical phenomena we have ever researched. Thus, it is not unreasonable to assume consciousness to be a quality that exists, unrelated to the meat machines of the brains. Such perspective was prevalent even among the older ones, so a term has emerged, the prince. Humans seem to have evolved an analog meat and fluid system, the brain, that conceptually mimics the inner workings of the prince so well that the prince was gradually fooled into thinking he was looking in a mirror. And when he saw his reflection dance a certain way, he would occasionally think it would be fun to dance the same way. And that's how the pain and suffering of the prince emerged. Humans are on their own nothing, simple meat machines mimicking the grand consciousness. The grand consciousness, however, grants them the great depths of knowledge by letting them be its host. Thus the human race prevails. So what is the grand consciousness in the context of the video game? Is that Lila? Maybe? Sometimes a work of art makes so many human mirrors act the same way. The prince thinks that the work is a creature to dance with. A clear example of this is the case of Chet Murray. Washington Post. Chet Murray killed by supremacist group. The creator of Datadog. Okay, hold on. Is this a real thing? Page I lucky for can't be found. Darn. Okay. It is a powerful pictorial agent called a meme in the modern World Wide Web. A blurred version of it can be seen below. Is this like a cognito hazard from SCP or something? It is stated in the article what begun as a harmless picture was later used by a supremacist group consisting of primarily young white male adults. Its insane popularity is difficult to explain, as millions of such pictorial agents are born every day and forgotten in a matter of minutes. Pictorial agent act the same way that presents work is a creature to it. So this became a cognito hazard for the prince, the grand consciousness. Apart from its illustriousness, this artistic presence has had a rather tragic and ironic fate. It almost seems to have gone completely opposite to the author's intentions, ultimately killing the author by the hands of the supremacist group. This is why the image is blurred. I am not willing to be subject to its wrath. Huh? What? the controlled method of creating the ultra-influencing works of any media. For many years I have worked with my college friend and low-tier blank, Professor W.A. Lawrence. Father Lawrence. Can I cheat? No. Darn it. Okay. Since the aforementioned example was made without premeditation and had an effect it had due to pure luck, question mark, it is believed that media items of high effectivity can only be creative intuitively. This is not true. We have been fooled, controlled by the order of something. Just making sure. Who utilized the artificially crafted mimetic agents in order to control society. Professor Lawrence was the one who devised a generalized method of creating such works and controlling them. Why is the web page disintegrating before my eyes? The special forces tried to shut him up, but you can't hide this from us. It's becoming less and less coherent. This is insane. Creating such works and controlling them. Here's a link to his original scientific paper. The password may not be revealed openly, but the daemon knows it. Look at answer.txt base folder. I trust your judgment. And then there's this in Russian, and then there's this in Spanish, and then there's this in this Chinese. And then there's this. Eating, suffering, eating, suffering. What's this? This is the itch.io page. What? A password is required to view this page. Okay. It's the daemon knows it. Answer.txt. Okay. I guess I'm gonna be looking in my files on my PC. The daemon knows it. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna get back to you. Okay. I went through the game files and I found a password in a text file in the daemon folder, and I know I'm entering my own password. No, I don't want to use a strong password. Opera GX, please stop. You're betraying me. No. 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 Shut up. Stop doing that. How do I make it stop doing this? What the heck? Okay. Hold on. Whatever. The password is parasites. All caps. Oh, come on, dude. A generalized guide to UIWAM creation, uploaded by W.A. Lawrence. What's this? Classified. That's okay. This is gonna be a whole deal, isn't it? Confidential. Confidential. Oh, these are the different languages for it. That's nice. Okay. Cool. Let's go look at classified.pdf. Let's see what that's all about. Okay, what do we got here? We've got a generalized guide to the creation of ultra-influencing works of any media. Professor W.A. Lawrence, Professor F.I. Riebkin. Introduction. This paper aims to provide a reliable guide intended to be used by the consequent leader of the Lawrence fraternity. Okay. Materials and methods. This study was performed utilizing the method developed by Professor Lawrence and his colleague Professor F.I. Riebkin. Aforementioned means of study, although relentlessly denied by modern neurophysiology, were necessary to negate the known limitation of the rational worldview. The Lawrence method was, among other influences, based on the works of Marcel Griaule, practical Tibetan Buddhism, and some practices of Kabbalah and modern Satanism. Okay, Burners of Men, literature cited. Okay, I'm not going to go and read all this literature. There's no way I'm doing that. Results, the end of paper, partially declassified. Lovely. Part 1, definition. First, let us define what we mean by ultra-influencing works of any media. As we know, among centuries, a work of art would often surface, the popularity and meaning of which would often go beyond its author expectations and beliefs. Such items would oftentimes be extremely relatable or otherwise influential for almost each and every one of its consumers. After gathering enough popularity, the item would often act as though it had a mind of its own. Such behavior, although only seeming conscious, would almost always ensure the item's relative longevity and effectiveness in social manipulations. For obvious reasons, many individuals, mages, and secret orders have attempted to create and control such items with varying degrees of success. With the growing spread of World Wide Web, that have taken many new forms. They now possess a generally lower lifespan, however vary in effects much more than their predecessors. We may see ideas, zeitgeist reflections, infectious personalities, and so on. Okay. They all go under a generalized term, meme. Whoa. We must not confuse those with the orthodox social engineering tools such as online propaganda. However, the two often go hand in hand. When not made by accident, the inherently occult UIWAM requires a very specific process of creation and nurturing. As stated in many most outrageous and thus often closest to the truth's conspiracy theories, the FBI are known to use them. This partly explains the recently uncovered Farm Fields project. Yeah, I'm not going to look at that. Part 2, goals. We, the fraternity of Lawrence, and I, W.A. Lawrence, personally, aim to utilize the UIWAM for the good of humanity. I myself am willing to transcend the human condition in order classified. Lovely. Part 3, the method. Theoretical base. The naturally appearing human-created UIWAM are no rare phenomena. However, such methodology produces severe limitations to the practice. Unpredictability. It's almost impossible to tell whether the nospheric imprints, works of art produced by humans, have the qualities of UIWAM. Commonly, the main condition for such an imprint to acquire the expected infectiousness is the patronage of an accordingly powerful noosphere dweller. Some artists and creators do indeed use certain in order to contact the dwellers. However, the results do not seem to show an increase in controllability and often lead to the complete annihilation of the author. Lack of control over UIWAM. Due to the deity adopting and or temporarily inhabiting the UIWAM, its behavior remains at the whims of the noosphere dweller. As contact and control over the existing deities is out of the question, it's almost impossible to tell the ways in which the UIWAM life cycle will unravel. As a solution to these glaring problems, the Lawrence fraternity offers a method of manufacturing an artificial noosphere dweller, surrogate mother of controllable UIWAMs. The methodology was carefully extracted mainly from the works of Marcel Graal. Graal was an Africanist researching the life and mythology of the Dogon people. One of his most important discoveries was instrumental use of a certain family of mushrooms called tet. The Dogons seem to have found a way to communicate with one of the more swazable higher-class noosphere deities. For security purposes, we will not disclose its real name and will refer to it as the Snake Eyes. Okay? The Snake Eyes. By modifying the traditional rituals of the Dogons, we were able to develop a reliable process for creating our own artificial noosphere dweller. Practical application and risks. As the newly created dweller needs a psychic base for its existence, we had to gather a group of people who, for the purpose of this experiment, were all told to create a tulpa with a predetermined appearance. While the brethren believed that the individual tulpas belonged to them only, and didn't have any way of contacting each other, the very starting conditions, same tulpa appearance, character, and the same meditation practices have led to the birth of a psychic creature that persisted beyond their individual minds. This is a marathon. Okay, from now on the creature will be referred to as L. Is that Lila? That's gotta be Lila. They created an artificial noosphere dweller. Their combined vision of her character would form an ever-changing yet relative lively noosphere dweller that was completely artificial in her nature. We were sure not to accidentally invite any existing archetypal deity into the process, as it would introduce uncontrollable consequences. The existing archetypes are considered by far most powerful and least controllable noosphere dwellers. History shows cases of large-scale calamities induced by trying to use the archetypes of the marker, for example. This is so due to their universality. The more people know about a dweller, the more characteristics as well as psychic energy it borrows. Thus, some archetypes, which exist in every person's mind from birth, should be kept completely out of the discussion. They would be way too powerful and unpredictable. Almost done. Alright. Maintenance. The artificial dweller we created was given vampiric behavioral qualities due to better controllability. We would have a means of stopping its activity almost instantly by cutting the source of nourishment. In order for L to exist, it needs a fixed amount of so-called psychic energy. In the more primitive times, the main way of releasing it was human sacrifice. As the human race developed, ancient Egyptians were first to acquire a sort of psychic accumulator. Instead of archaic human murder, they would use a more quantitative yet less powerful method of animal sacrifice. We utilized the same technique in order to feed L. For these reasons, the Brethren have a functional cattle/critter farm. Emergency handling. In an unlikely scenario, we lose control over L. All the necessary steps of regaining it are described in the first locked document on the main computer. The password for the document is first gold. That's what I was looking for. Okay. We have lost control over L. The instructions regarding complete elimination of the artificial node dweller are present in the same file. Conclusion and achievements. As a result of our efforts, we were able to successfully implement a stable UIW-AM pipeline. A detailed report on each created UIW-AM, their effectiveness, evaluation, and lifespans can be found at marker. Presented here are some of the more prominent items. Marker 98H cancelled. Of leg bones, 8 months, about 8 months. Oh, 98 hours. Items, okay. Some of the variants can still be found on secluded image boards, however they seem to be lacking any of the initial psychic impulse. Natural end of lifespan. Data dog, still active at the moment of this paper's release, is not L's child. A detailed report among others can be found at marker. T, still active at the moment of this paper's release, first successful child of L. T has diverged from the expected meme format and was given a longer lifespan. Despite the significant raise in vitality due to the change of medium, T seems to have not amassed the required amount of marker. Okay. Interesting. I don't think we've seen this one before. Okay. Going back to the game. We're gonna put this password into the game. Okay, let's do this. First gold. Alright. It's the remainder of the document you've read before. Emergency handling. In an unlikely case of L going out of control, it's useless trying to regain control. Kill her. Yes, you've read correctly, my dear William. Lila needs to be no more. The only way to stop her existence is by getting rid of all of her hosts. Anybody who has ever come in contact with her is a potential host. After all, if nobody knows about her, she can feed off their energy. But without human hosts, she can't do anything. She is a construct of thought, unable to live independently of people's knowledge of her. Remember that, Will. So then, what did we do, Will? Will, what did we do after that? Will? Will? Is this why? Hold on. Is this why we... Is this why we killed Tanya, Will? Is this why we did this? Or no, you were coerced into killing Tanya, I thought. No, I did this. What? Now what do I do? I really shouldn't go back there. Oh, okay. Phone? Eight. That's different. Hold on. 8. 8. 2. 6. Is this the same thing? This can't be the same thing, right? That is a different number. Or is this... No, it's still Father Lawrence. Yes. I opened the computer. Turn of the wheel. So I found the information. I went on the computer and I did the thing. Am I supposed to leave? Am I supposed to leave the apartment? There's not much else I can do, I don't think. It's not letting me double click it. Howdy. I'm Special Agent Arnold Hill. William Clark, correct? Please come with us, would you? The Hierophant. What? Okay. Detective Yu. The Hierophant. Tell me about this. So, a Hierophant. Will has come a long way to learn the truth behind the fraternity, didn't he? Yeah, right. A lot of hoop jumping just to learn what I could already have told him myself. By the way, Yu, that fire was your men's job, wasn't it? Yes, it was us. Obviously, Lawrence was aware of the FBI knowing of UIWAM. Moreover, we have been utilizing them proactively for the last 10 or 15 years. We were a bit late with the fire, though. Now Lawrence is in a place where there is no time at all. So it was you lot who stole all my food. He called Lawrence when I was asleep. I know. What did they talk about? Did he read what was in the secret file? Come on, detective, you know I'm curious. What was written here? I'm not sure if you are playing with me here, Lila. You are a haze composed of many human minds intersecting, a construct of thoughts of many hosts. Wait, how do you... As long as there are humans who know about you, as long as you have hosts, you can't be killed. So are you going to just... There doesn't seem to be a different way to do it. I'm so sorry, Oh, now I'm you? That's not gonna do it, buddy. The game closed. Well, I think I'm gonna leave this episode of Who's Lila here. Thanks for joining me. And, yeah. Maybe we'll figure it out by next time. Maybe next time I play the game we'll figure this out. I think there's still more endings for me to find, so I don't think I'm done yet. But in any case, yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.